Amandla! Viva the new federation, viva! Viva NACTU, viva! Viva all unions that are here today, viva! Qina msebenzi, qina! Phansi namabhetye.
Long live Cosatu, long live.
Long live.
Long live the ANC, long live.
Long live.
Long live the South African Communist Party, long live.
Long live.
Long live Sanko, long live.
Long live.
Malibongwe. Elama Koskazi. Mphathi wohlelo. Mongameli weCosatu Comrade uSidumo Dlamini. Mongameli weANC Ubaba uMsholozi. Unobhala jikelele wamakomanisi uBlade Nzimande. Members of National Executive Committees akhona lana buya ku-Alliance. I-leadership yase-provincini yase-Gauteng. Silapha namuhla ukuba sizogubha usuku lwabasebenzi nani ngoba abasebenzi bangabahlali nabahlali bangabasebenzi. Imizabalazo yonke yabasebenzi imizabalazo yethu nathi njengabahlali ngoba siyinto eyodwa kufanele njalo sihlale sibambisene. Siyazi ukuba maningi amaqhawe abasebenzi alwa iminyaka eminingi endlule ukuba lolu suku kube usuku labasebenzi namuhla. Siyathemba nje wasulugubha lolu suku sohlala njalo sikhumbula wonke amaqhawe asala khona empini yokwenza ngcono isimo sokusebenza kubasebenzi ezweni lonke nasemhlabeni wonke. Siyazi ukuba namhlanje silana eSwane usemningi umsebenzi omkhulu ofanele siwenze. Sonke njengombimbo le-alliance kufanele sibambisane, sisebenzisane ngoba umsebenzi okwenza ngcono impilo zabantu bonke bakithi kusewumsebenzi onzima esibhekane nawo. Umsebenzi okwakha kabusha izwe lethu, umsebenzi onzima esibhekane nawo. Umsebenzi oqeda inhlupheko kubantu endaweni zonke abahlala kuzona kusewumsebenzi omkhulu esibhekane nawo. Umsebenzi oqeda inhlupheko ekhungethe abantu bakithi bonke kusewumsebenzi omkhulu esibhekane nawo. Umsebenzi oqeda ungalingani kwezomnotho phakathi kwalabo abanemali nabangenamali umsebenzi omkhulu esibhekane nawo. Ngalo ndlela leyo ngeke sikwazi ukunqoba uma singahlangani sibumbane sibe munye. Konke amaphutha esiwenzayo siwavume bese siqhubela phambili ngokwakha kusha uMzansi Afrika. We know that all those revolutionaries who fought for this day are revolutionaries that were trained by our movement, the ANC, the South African Communist Party, Cosatu, and lately Sanko. This victory, comrade, did not come easy. It came through sacrifice, sweat, and blood of the working masses of our country, who braved torture, arrest, detention, and even death to ensure that workers all over the world work under better working conditions, with minimum living wage and having sufficient time to be with their families, to take care of their children. Therefore, Comrade Sanko calls upon workers to unite under the banner of Cosatu and to defend these revolutionary gains achieved by those gallant revolutionaries who fought and demonstrated courage and resilience amongst all comrades in conditions we have shown us that through unity, organization, systematic planning and discipline actions, victory can be certain. Ingakho sila namhlanje wabe sebenzisana ngokubambisana sikwazile ukulwisa yonke umbuso ebingaphambili ebesiphethe kabuhlungu njengabahlali, njengabasebenzi, njengabo bonke abantu base-South Africa. Umsebenzi ke sibhekane nawo ukuba sisukume sime sakhe kabusha. Comrade, the workers' struggle did not end. We know during the time of apartheid, workers of our country, they were butchered by many vigilantes because they were demanding a workers' day. It was a difficult and a very painful struggle of the workers of our country. They dedicated themselves to fight for this day. We must honor them by ensuring that wherever they are able to work for a living wage, they are able to earn money that will assist them to support their families and their extending families. Umsebenzi omkhulu esibhekane nawo sonke njenge-alliance nombimbi lonke ukuthi lapho esihleli khona sihlale njalo sibambisene, sisebenze ukwakha ama-street committees, sisebenze ukwakha ama-village committees kuma-rural areas, sisebenze ukwakha ama-floor shop issues. Umsebenzi omkhulu ofanele siwenze wokuthi sazi kahle ukuthi senze njani uma sibhekene nosizo olubhekene nabantu bakithi. Sinethemba elikhulu ukuthi uhulumeni lo siphethe ka-ANC okuwuhulumeni wethu uyoqhubeka njalo ngokwenza imisebenzi emihle. Abasebenzi ngaphansi kwaCosatu bayoqhubeka njalo belwisane nengcindezelo yabasebenzi ukuze sikwazi kuba abasebenzi bakhululeka nabo bebe nezwi ekwakhiweni komnotho kabusha kuleli lizwe lakithi. Siyabazi kakhulu abasebenzi ukuthi bathembekile futhi baqotho, bayawazi umzabalazo bayoqhubeka ngaso sonke isikhathi bezabalazela amalungelo abasebenzi kuzo zonke indawo abasebenza khona. Kufanelekile ke sizibophele sonke njengama-revolutionaries, njengabalweli bezwe nabakha kabusha bezwe, kuba siqede konke ukuxhasana ngokwebala, siqede konke uhlupheko okukhona, sibe futhi ngabantu baseMzantsi Afrika abazithembayo nabasebenzela abantu bakithi bezinikele ubusuku nemini ukuze sikwazi uba siye phambili. Umzabalazo uyaqhubeka oqeda ububha, umzabalazo uyaqhubeka oqeda icrime, ubugebengu. Umzabalazo mawuqhubeke okwakhela abantu bakithi izindlu, njengoba sazi uba izindlu eziningi sezakhiwe, phezu kwe-4 million houses were built over the last 22 years. Kumsebenzi omkhulu ofanele siqhubeke ngawo, siwuvume futhi sifunde nokuvuma lapho esenze khona amaphutha wabantu bakithi abasoze besilahle. Ngapha uma sikhuluma nabo sivume futhi uma bethi lapha nonile sithi sonile, bese silungisa lapho esenze khona amaphutha. Bayohlala nathi njalo besivikela endaweni eziningi esihamba kuzona. However, comrade, though it is a case of Cosatu, and the entire leadership movement should always remain vigilant as monopoly capital and their neoliberalism counterpart connive to roll back and reverse the gains of our revolution fall through sweat and blood of the working people. More as the historically experienced challenges, sufferings and exploitation of the workers in the past are still even today under different forms, such as the casualization, outsourcing, short-term intimidation of workers, retrenchment, pitting workers against workers. All of us who are members of this progressive alliance, we must always work together to defeat the scourge that is facing our people, the scourge of drug abuse in every corner of our country. Siyazi nalana eTshwane ukuthi nibambisene nathi uqeda kwa izidakamizwa eseziningi kakhulu emgwaqweni ezenza kube nzima kuba abantwana baye ezikolweni bekwazi ukufunda ukuze sibe yisizwe esiqhubekela phambili. SANCO calls upon Cosatu to embrace community struggles as we address the bread and butter issues. Members of Cosatu as residents, they have also responsibility to ensure that they work together with SANCO, with the entire alliance, to improve the living conditions of our people. Let us work together as an alliance, partner through joint campaigns on national, provincial and local level. Secondly, to members of Cosatu to join and strengthen SANCO, because themselves they are soldiers of communities. SANCO in their respective communities so as to mobilize our community and strengthen the organs of people's power, effective and bring about people-centered, people-driven development, happens on the ground and therefore invoke citizen participation in governing of our country. We are here as SANCO to acknowledge the achievement made by the government of the ANC and appreciate the issue that was raised by the president of the ANC when he was presenting the manifesto last week or the week before last in the PPE or Nelson Mandela Bay, when he encouraged that the cooperative sector must be allowed to operate at the local government level. As SANCO, we have been working to ensure that we build cooperatives that will assist us to fight against poverty. We hope that the municipalities, as they come in office after the 3rd of August elections, they will implement that program. Members of SANCO, wherever they are, they will have also responsibility of engaging with the councillors, discuss with them. Don't protest if you have not spoken to the leadership that lead the municipalities. We must only protest only if the comrades that we deploy to work for the community are not doing what the manifesto of the ANC said that they must do. We hope that everyone will work together with us to drive this development to our people. SANCO is convinced that we must request NETLEC together with Cosatu to declare, because NETLEC is labor, is community, is government, is business, that they should declare that 2017 to 2027 as a decade to intensify training program of the workers of our country. That we must train workers, we must retrain them and train them, we must skill them and reskill them with relevant skills in order for them to be employed or for the skills that are required by the industry. We believe that there are resources. If we mobilize them and use them appropriately, we'll be able to do so, that every worker, those who are employed, those who are unemployed at the moment, should be trained. We think that the community colleges will also assist us, Ngongoshe, to do exactly that. That we shouldn't have any worker that is untrained, because workers are the backbone of our economy. As we enter the radical phase of economic transformation, we can't succeed if we don't train our workers, train the young in many townships. We know, of course, we have also received a report by the Statistician General about the plight of our young people. We think that the ANC-led alliance should be able to do that. Our view is that the political council, the Alliance Political Council, should oversee the implementation of this program of training workers in our country. We are not talking about training workers for 2 weeks, but we talk about systematic program of skilling our workers in order for them to be productive and assist to build this economy that all of us we wish to see in a vibrant economy. Without vibrant workers, we won't have a very developed economy. It is our view as SANCO that we must work together to implement this program. Siyaqhubeka nomsebenzi wonke esibhekane nawo okumsebenzi okwenza ngcono impilo zabantu. Siyathemba ke iSANCO njenge-organization siyayisupport i-minimum wage demand ephutshwe yiCosatu. Siyathemba futhi NETLEC izosheshisa lo msebenzi uqede bese ukwazi mawuze iparlament yabantu nawo iwuvume. iSANCO siyasupporta futhi umsebenzi owenziwa i-Department of Higher Education ukuthi kwakhiwe ama-community colleges. As SANCO sizoparticipate fully in the management of those community colleges and TVET. We think they are very important to skill our young people. As SANCO will continue to urge that the right of workers must be respected by everyone, because workers are a strength of our community. SANCO is fully support the ANC in this coming local government election, which are said to be very fiercely contested. Our view is that we should defeat all these parties that think that they are strong when they are weak. They have never ruled any part of the country. They've got no experience even to fix taps. They will never run the country. We must all go out and vote for the ANC, because the ANC is tried and tested. ANC, an organization that we relied on, that we trust. ANC is led by the comrades, by the leadership who are committed to the poor of the poorest. The ANC is building an unracial, non-sexist and democratic society. Without the ANC, there will be no future in our country. Even those who accuse us, in fact, many of them, if tomorrow Comrade President in ANC, you volunteer not to govern the country. I can tell you they will march to Lutuli House, all of them, to demand you to go back and govern the country, because none of them have the capacity to do that. Let us, all of us, work together to these coming elections. We must go house to house, because abasebenzi siyabathemba. So sebenza nabo, sibambisane, siye phambili. iSANCO, of course, is of the view, as we celebrate this historic struggle of working people, we should not forget the sacrifice of so many people who have contributed a great deal for us to enjoy the rights and dignity we have today. And that workers still need to mobilize from 1st of May and beyond and confront many challenges the workers are still facing, whilst taking stock of the gains made by workers and increase the tempo of the struggle for a just and equitable society. It is our view as SANCO that we must continue implementing the progressive policies of the government, because with those policies, we all know that we listen attentively when all other parties put their manifesto for consideration by society. All of them, they copy the ANC manifesto. I understand now why they always wait for the ANC to present his manifesto, is to make it easy for them to copy his manifesto. Siyathemba mongameli, namalungu onke akhona abasebenzi siyokwazi ukuqhubeka siye phambili, sizithobe kubantu, sibathanda abantu bakithi, ngoba masingabathandi ngeke sibasebenzele, sikwazi ukuba siqhubeke sibambisene nabo. Lapho esone khona sikwazi ukubuya sibe humble ukuthi sonile lana, sicela nisisize ukuze siqhubekele phambili. Siyabathemba kabasebenzi bonke bekhona la nakwey'ndaweni eziningi kuleli lizwe, ukuthi ngezwe elilodwa nje bayakwazi ukuba kwenzeke zonke izinto. iSANCO is confident that Cosatu has the ability to unite the workers of our country. Without unity, we'll be unable to defeat monopoly capital. That's why unity is paramount. And we hope that the leadership of Cosatu will never get tired in persuading those workers who were misled to get out of Cosatu, because Cosatu is the only home for the workers of our country. The alliance is only future of this country. Without this four organizations, there will be no future in our region, there was no future in our continent. Abasebenzi ke beCosatu mabazi ukuthi umsebenzi wonke usemahlombe abo. Nathi futhi sobambisana nabo sisebenzela abantu bakithi. Siyabonga kakhulu. Amandla! Amandla! Long live Msholozi, long live! Long live Stumodlamini, long live! Long live Blade Nzimande, long live! Long live the provincial leadership, long live! Long live Mashatile, long live! Amandla! Matimba! Siyabonga kakhulu basebenzi basibambisane.
We want to continue with our program. We know, comrade, there are a number of prominent leaders of the alliance amongst us in Gauteng, comrades. The Premier of Gauteng, and the Deputy Chairperson of the ANC, Comrade David Makura, is amongst us. He will be coming to the podium very soon, to the stage very soon. We also, in our midst, comrades, have the Provincial Secretary of the SACP, Comrade Jacob Mamabolo, is also with us. In our midst, comrade, we also have the Provincial Chairperson of Sanko, Comrade Chris, is also with us. We also, comrade, have the the regional chairperson of the ANC and the mayor of Tshwane, Kosiensu Ramokopa, is amongst us. There are many leaders amongst us, comrades. We're not going to introduce them all, but then we can only manage to introduce those who are leading their organizations now. Comrades, without any further ado, Retokupela Moretele Park, what's a Kibitswana, Amabomvana, the South African Communist Party, the only vanguard of the working class. The General Secretary, Comrade Nzimande, will be talking to us. Comrade Nzimande.
National Congress, viva! Viva! Tata ANC, Tata! Viva the SACP, viva! Viva! Qina, Cosatu, Qina! Qina, Cosatu, Qina! Viva Sanko, viva! Viva the ANC Women's League in Bogoto, viva! Viva the ANC Youth League, viva! Viva the YCL Ufasimba, viva! Viva Sasco, viva! Viva Kosas, viva! Mandla! Siyabonga comrades. Ngicela ngibingelele Comrade President we-ANC and our Republic, Comrade Jacob Zuma, President we-Cosatu, Comrade Dlamini, ngibingelela uComrade weSanko, uComrade uMdakane uqeda ukukhuluma manje. Ngibingelele usihlalo weANC eGauteng, Comrade Paul Mashatile. Ngibingelela nabo bonke abanye abaholi bale province. uComrade uAmos uyiShop Stewart lapha eminyangweni yami, ngiyabona uyiphethe kahle. Nonobhala wamakomanisi ngingamkhohlwa kule province, sibonge ngalomsebenzi eniwenzile ama-comrades. Comrades, we have just celebrated 22 years of majority rule in our country. 22 years of democracy led by the ANC and its alliance. 22 years is both a long time and a short time, Mongameli, at the same time. It is a short time in which to address the terrible legacy of centuries of colonial, racial and capitalist dispossession. We should not underestimate what we've collectively achieved over this short period. A constitutional democracy, worker rights, mass rollout of subsidized housing, water connections, sanitation, school enrollment, adult literacy, the world's largest free rollout of antiretrovirals, significantly improving life expectancy. 1/3 of South Africans are now benefiting from social grants, the largest per capita rollout in the world. In 22 years, we have provided household electricity to 6 million households. White minority regimes only achieved 5 million household electricity connection in over 100 years. Uhulumeni wabelungu kwathatha 200 ukuthenze nje anika abantu abawu 5 million ugesi. Uhulumeni ka-ANC uthathe only 20 years ukunika abantu abawu 6 million ugesi ezweni lakithi. That is why, comrades, as we express solidarity today with workers of the world and the workers of our country, we are also at the same time calling on the working class to come out in their numbers on the 3rd of August and vote for the African National Congress. But at the same time, comrades, 22 years is a short time, despite these achievements. And there is more, of course, that we could have done. We could perhaps have done better. We must always be hard on ourselves when it comes to that. Unemployment is still high, and we still remain one of the most unequal societies in the world. But President Cosatu, no president abanye nowezwe, kuvamile ukuthi njalo umzabalazo uma sekuphela u20 years wanqoba waphumelela bese kuqala ukuba nezinkinga. Even strong countries like China today, after 20 years, it developed huge problems that took more than 10 years to actually sort out. So we must be very proud that as a country, we are at year 22, we are still together, but we must not relax. The threat to our country and to our revolution is very big. Awubheke Brazil kwenzakalani manje? Bafuna ukususa upresident ngendluzula outside of the democratic process. Our revolution in virtually all the BRICS countries today, our revolution is under attack. Now, that is why, comrades, it is important that we must not gamble with the unity of our alliance. That is the main message we are bringing as the SACP. So that at all times, when our own movement is under attack, they must always find us united, not in different spaces. Because if we are in different spaces, even small challenges become huge problems that we are unable to resolve. Let us unite our movement, let us close ranks, let us defeat the strategic agenda of imperialism and monopoly capital. Let us consolidate and accelerate a second radical phase of the NDR. Wemaqabani, uma sithi asisebenze ndawonye, asisho lento ngoba kumnandi. Isitha singena kalula uma ngabe singabumbene, singeyona into eyodwa. But what should we unite about? Is it unity for the sake of unity? Is it unity for public appearances? No. And again, no. Is it unity because local government will be held in August? Yes, but that's only part of it. Because that's not a sustainable basis. So unite only when we are going to elections. We must be united at all times. You know, Msholos, kunento engihluphayo, kunama comrades athi ake siye kukulwa ngesisuthu kushoka kamnandi kuthiwa ama-room facts. Ake siye kukulwa ngoba siyokhethweni. Imhluphe lento ukuthi uma uyicabangisisa kahle isho ukuthini? Isho ukuthi ke alothi ke lingadlula kukhetho ke bese siyaqhubeka ke nezimpi sishayane sisodwa singaphakathi ma-room facts permanently, not because we are going to local government elections. Cosatu namhlanje, Comrade Stu, has adopted a very nice theme, celebrating 30 years and defending collective bargaining, workers' jobs and rights. We support this, we agree with it. We are very glad that Cosatu is out of the worst, one of the worst periods it has ever had. We'll continue to support you and we will work with you. And we must protect, comrades, all our organizations. That is why we must say no to the politics of money. We must say no to the politics of factions. We must say no to the politics of gatekeepers. We must say no kubantu abasincisha amakhadi emabhrentshini ngoba kuthiwa awuhambi. Abasebenzi, Cosatu, we stand by you. Sifuna ukuzosho njalo. Ngalo May Day, kuningi ebesingakusho. Cosatu has turned the corner. Much as challenges remain, but there is now stabilization. I congratulate the leadership of Cosatu for having protected the federation through one of its most difficult times. We can see the success of defending Cosatu. Kukhona bebethi bokwakha ama-federation amasha asezwa kahle idate ilokhu ihlehliswe nje angiyazi-ke mina nalento we-comrade uStu. Maybe anginayo experience ngoba angifani ney'nkokheli zami lezi ezinye ey'khona la zonke zazama-unionist. Angaze ngibe unionist mina. Sazame yethu yasemanyuvesi inyunyana yayifela ngoba kubuye kuhlupheka. Kodwa angaze mina ngizwe kuthiwa umholi wenyunyana ubungenanyunyana. Ubungasebenzi ubungenanyunyana kuthiwa umholi wenyunyana. This goes against the principles of proper worker representation. Nasi ezinye izinto sifuna ukuzisho masinya siyi-SACP namhlanje. Sicela ukuhalalisela lensizwa uNkosana yakaMagadi who invented the please call me on my cell phone for having won against Vodacom. We are sick and tired of corporate theft against the creativity of our own people. Ama-patents amaningi, Comrade Stumo, abo-America nabo-Europe, nemithi amaphilisi aphambili, izinto ezantshontshwa kule continent yethu okuningi kwabo, kodwa kuthiwa sekuqhamuka le-Europe. Bebezama ukutshontsha ngisho i-rooibos tea ukuthi izoyo-register emelini. I-rooibos tea eyala eyabasebenzi bala into yethu akuyona into yamasela abafuna ukuthatha into zabantu. Siyayibongela-ke le nsizwa yakaMagadi. Bengithi nami soke siyithumelele ngesithi please call me. We must fight corruption. Uma kuthiwa khona into ezosibulala ilo corruption ngoba ngeke sizibe izimpi esibhekene nazo uma singaphumeleli ukulwa ne-corruption. But let us be on the ground. I-SACP iyanmema futhi nonke abasebenzi to join its financial sector campaign. I-campaign yethu had one very important victories. Umzansi account against arbitrary blacklisting by the credit bureaus. We also won a credit amnesty, and as the Communist Party, Comrade Stu, we are of the view that abasebenzi bakithi, they are so heavily indebted again that we must consider another amnesty in order to take the working class out of the situation. But abasebenzi masisho njalo asisho ukuthi hambani niyongena more ekweletini nize nivele ngenwele nganzakwethu. Ake nitsheleke nibuye nganeno noma kutsheleka ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sikhulise izipaza zethu nezinye izinto ezizosingenisela imali. Kodwa indlela abantu bakithi abakweleta ngayo sisenkathazweni. Ithini SACP namhlanje? Sithi lama garnish orders aya abuswa. There is corruption between some of the offices of the magistrates and the banks to actually issue garnish orders to people willy-nilly. We want this thing to be properly regulated. One of the biggest challenges we face, especially in this province, is the repossessions of houses of workers and the lower middle class by the banks. And again, uthathelwe umuzi wakho ukweleta 200,000 bese uya kwi-auction iyodayiswa ngo-1,000 rand, but kuqhutshekwe kuthiwa wena usakweleta ibhenge liwuthathe ngalo 1,000 uyodayiswa enye imali enkulu. This is exploitation. In fact, we are calling for the investigation of the manner in which repossessions are approved in the magistrates' courts in this country. Enye into my comrades, umbutho wethu ANC kudala ithatha le decision. Mshoro sisacela implement le decision. Sisacela ukuthi Post Bank inikwe le license yayo ukuze singadlali lamabhanga amakhulu angakwazi kubenzela lutho abantu bakithi. This license by the Post Bank is very important so that we can actually have affordable banking for our people. Moving towards the end, we support Cosatu on comprehensive social security. Kuyabiza ukuba umsebenzi ezweni lakithi nganizakwethu. Abasebenzi abaningi baspenda more than 50% year-old with transport. We welcome the fact that the manifesto ANC is saying we must have integrated housing. Lento yokuthi ama-RDP houses sisaqhubeka nokwakha le la kungekho khona muntu away from the workplaces. That must change. The ANC commits to that. We welcome that. Public transport is expensive. Higher education is expensive. That's why we want to change it, and the president on a presidential commission. Asikakabi ne-national health insurance siyayifuna ukuthi isheshe, because laba bane-medical aid, you know kuthi kushaya September i-medical aid ayisekho iphelile. Uma unesifanyana nje sekufunakala ukuthi uyozikhokhela wena ngemali engekho. But we also want to say, Comrade Stu, sengiyaqeda manje ngoba ngifuna ukudla isikhathi senu nomongameli abakhulu. I-Freedom Charter ithi The state shall recognize the right and duty of all to work. We must begin to advance this idea of the right to work. We know we're in a capitalist system, but we must begin to advance this notion that people must work and actually people must have job. Sithi ama-comrades asiphumeni ngobuningi bethu siyovotela i-ANC. Siyajabula-ke ngoba upresident uthe uma ilontsha imanifesto nathi sifuna ukuyiphinda lento eshiwo isandla. Wathi akuqhutshwa ngendlela ka-ANC ukuthi how are councillors nominated. We must not allow the corruption of the ANC processes. Thina njenge-ANC, njenge-SACP, we will have difficulties ukusupporta ama-councillor angene ngopotsho, go-back door, kungalandelwanga izindawo la kufanele kusetshenzwe. Sizoziraise kodwa lezi. Where we have these problems, we will raise them with the ANC first, so that they can actually be addressed. We cannot afford to put the ANC in compromise. Comrades, sifuna ukuthi Happy Workers' Day. Sibonge kunini nikhona la. You must always know ukuthi wherever the workers are, the Communist Party will be right there next to you. Whether libalele or liyana sizohambisana nani, ikakhulukazi le federation sibuye sithi happy 30 years Cosatu, happy 30 years. Amandla.
Mandla. No, comrades, let's proceed with our program. We are told that 30 buses are still coming. But for now, comrades, we want to request the ANC artist collaboration to come and render an item before the president of the ANC addresses us. The artists, these comrades, ANC artist collaborations include Umam Debra, Ukolega, Ukanyo, Tabu Otwin, Brown, and Cindy. Can you come to the stage and render the item before the president can speak to us? Viva Cosatu, viva! Viva Cosatu, viva! Mandla!
2016 siyabangena! Viva Cosatu, viva! Viva abasebenzi, viva! Okay, comrades, asithi ukujayiva kancane before omongameli bengena. Sisiphethe ngenxeba. Halala basebenzi, halala. Halala basebenzi, halala. Asiyenze. Xa inkosi inatha akekho ongasahlula.
are you here? SACP, are you here? Sango, are you here? Amanda, comrades, Artolempile ka program ya rona, re tlo kopa Comrade Paul Mashatile, the provincial chairperson of the ANC, to come and formally introduce the president of the ANC to come and speak to us. Comrade Paul.
Qina msebenzi qina. Qina msebenzi qina. Halala basebenzi halala. Halala basebenzi halala. Tata ANC tata. Tata ANC tata. Pata ANC pata. Pata ANC pata. Teka inkwaso ANC teka inkwaso. Teka inkwaso ANC teka inkwaso. Shine basebenzi shine. Qina Cosatu qina. Qina SACP qina. Qina Sanko qina. Wathinta abafazi. Wathinta abafazi. Malibongwe. 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 Roar, young lions, roar. Roar, young lions, roar. Anginizwa, roar, young lions, roar. Comrades, firstly, let me start by greeting our leaders, bonke, who are here with us today. Ketlatalaka, President of African National Congress, Comrade Jacob Zuma. Kidumedise, President wa Cosatu, Comrade Dumo Dlamini. President wa Sanko, Comrade Richard Mtagani. General Secretary wa Makomani Subauplate Nzimande. And all the leaders who are here, the provincial leaders, the Premier of Gauteng, the ministers who are here, the Executive Mayor of Tshwane, the MEC, MCs, MPs and MPLs, but most importantly, ni nabasebenzi. Basebenzi ninjani? Basebenzi ni ready? Siyawina on the 3rd of August, siyawina. President ataganizwa. Siyawina on the 3rd of August, siyawina. Ni abasabana. Ni abasabana. President atunzwile ke manje. Siyabangena. Program Director, as I introduce the President, let me just say, Comrade President, that we are ready in Gauteng. We want you to come and give direction. Masibizeni ke uPresident azokhuluma nathi. Simtshelo si ready thina on the ground. We are going to go door to door and make sure that come the 3rd of August, victory is certain. President, I now take this opportunity to welcome you to the stage. Viva President Zuma, viva! Viva President Zuma, viva!
Amandla awethu matla ya rona matimba aina all power long live Cosatu, long live Cosatu, long live the alliance, long live the alliance, long live. Thank you, comrades, thank you very much.
Abazange bambona, wabazange bambona, abazange bambona, Zuma lo, Manda.
Thank you, comrades, thank you very much. Thank you very much, comrades. Sizohlabelela, sike sikhulume kuqala. Aribuwe pele. Litabena hapa. Comrades, President of Cosatu, Comrade Dlamini, members of the Cosatu Central Executive Committee, General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, Comrade Nzimande, President of SANCO, Comrade Mtagana, leadership and representatives of the Tripartite Alliance and SANCO, Chairperson of the ANC in the province of Gauteng, Comrade Mashatile, the leadership at all levels of the alliance present here today, abasebenzi bonke abakhona namhlanje la. I bring revolutionary greetings from the National Executive Committee of the ANC on this important day of celebrating workers' rights and the strides we have made in transforming the workplace. We meet here today to celebrate the 22nd May Day in a free South Africa. This day is celebrated by all workers in the world. It has been celebrated for a number of centuries. The workers who are the victims of the system,
who have been exploited and suppressed for many, many years, decided many years ago to organize themselves, because it was clear that when workers were not organized, they were victims of the system. Some overexploited, others due to conditions of work, dying whilst at work. And yet they were underpaid and many hours of work. In 1884-86, the workers in the United States decided to take action against their exploitation. And they took one issue that is still an issue today, the issue of working hours. That the hours should be reduced to every worker in the world. And decided to organize a big protest to make that message known, that the workers were now organized and they were ready to take up action against their exploitation. This point is very important for the working people to know, because whether we like it or not, the exploitation of workers continues. It may take different forms, and it's still going to continue as long as the wrong system is still in place. And therefore, the organization of workers in big numbers is an essential thing that the workers should be conscious of. Because if you are not conscious of it, you will be exploited from generation to generation. There was something important in that protest, because at the end, there was a clash with the police, resulting to some death. And the police arrested the leaders of the unions and charged them and tried them. And indeed sentenced a few of them to death, among them Passing and Schilling. It was clear that the capitalist system was very strong. These workers, leaders, who were fighting for the right of workers globally, were victimized for that. As they were going to the gallows, they said something important, that this voice that was not heard at that time of the working class, that when time or the passage of time experiences the struggles of the workers, these voices of the workers that were being silent, not to raise the conditions of workers, will be heard in future loud and clear over the hills and mountains and continents of the world. And those words were correct, because with the passage of time, the workers have been organized into powerful unions. They said this because they knew that the system of exploitation of the working class could not last forever without the consciousness of the workers rising to organize themselves. So on this day is a day we remember the suffering of the working people in the world. But we also remember the areas where the voices of the workers that were suffocated many centuries ago are now heard loudly and clearly. And history has seen the workers being in charge in some areas. But the very fact that the system introduced by the workers was pushed back by the capitalist system tells you that the struggle continues. You cannot say it is over. And that is why today the workers over the world come together to celebrate this day, but not just to celebrate, but to take new resolutions to develop and advance the struggle of the working people. With the development of the wrong system, the suppression and oppression and silencing of the working people takes different forms. At times, it is very harsh. At times, it is camouflaged by certain things. It is in this context that we here today in this country, South Africa, we celebrate 20 years of the freedom of our people. And therefore the celebration of May 1st by the working class, perhaps in a very challenging situation that we need to understand as workers. We are in a challenging situation in South Africa. And it is important for us to know this, because if we don't know it, we are still going to remain under the bondage for many years to come. This country, South Africa, was lucky to have the leaders who had a foresight and who understood our conditions very well and reacted appropriately by creating the organization of the workers with a different objective and clarity. That the workers must fight for their rights at the factory floor, but also they must fight their political right where they stay. And therefore you could not separate these two. And this is what our leaders did. And this is what led to the formation of a different type of a union. A union that is conscious of the plight of its members and therefore understood the struggle differently from just ordinary unions. Because for the workers to be able to fight for their rights, they need to be organized in the first instance, but also they need to be clear about their tasks. It is in this context that we celebrate this day today. What has happened today? And if we don't see what has happened, then we are in for a big shock. As the workers, the struggle of the workers is understood globally, that the workers must break the chains of every worker. Question is it easy? Do the workers understand their strength, the power of their strengths, amandla? Because if they don't understand, then it is difficult to wage the struggle that could take us forward. I want to come to this point because I want to talk a little bit about what is happening in South Africa today. I'm going to come back to it because it is important. Because if we don't understand, like many other revolutions that were taken over by opportunists, this can happen in this country. At times, by the very people you thought they were with you, and yet they were not with you. You need to appreciate this, because some of the voices that are very loud today are people who are with you here. We've begun to give a different interpretation to our revolution. So today, comrades, we join all progressive forces in the world in the continued fight for a living wage, decent work, and a better South Africa in our case, as those who were led by passing and shilling deed in the United States, in Chicago. Comrades, you have rightfully themed this year's May Day as celebrating 30 years, defending collective bargaining, workers' jobs, and our hard-won workers' rights. We indeed have laws in place that practice the workers, that protect the workers in our country. And these laws have been brought by our democratic government, the African National Congress government. We have strong labor laws which protect the employees from exploitation to the extent that those who do do not agree with us and decry them. They decry these laws to be very restrictive. They even talk about very stiff labor laws which do not allow those who employ to do what they want with the workers. Workers' rights are enshrined in the Constitution of our Republic. These rights include, among many, the right to fair labor practice, the right to form and join trade unions, strike and picket. Our Constitution says we must do so as workers. The right to collective bargaining, among others. Would these laws be there without the ANC government? No. And without the African National Congress in power, this country will be in big trouble. Our Constitution also contains other rights that are important to workers. For instance, the right to water, housing, and other socio-economic rights. The right to access information, accountability of public enterprises, and procurement policy of social objectives. Comrades, the achievements we celebrate today regarding the workers, the workplace, we do so because of the mutually beneficial relationship in the alliance. Our leaders who were wise, who had wisdom, felt the workers organizing themselves alone was not enough in the South African setting. It was important that the vanguard party of the workers must be organized and work with the workers, including shaping the thinking of the workers, but also work with the national movement, the African National Congress, so that each of these will protect the other in one form or the other. We need one another more than we think we know. The very point I've just made, that without the ANC government, which is progressive, derived its progressiveness from working with the workers and the South African Communist Party, would not have had these laws. This is a benefit which is there as evidence for us of the success and the need of the alliance partners. If the workers were on their own, they would not have made the laws. No one in Parliament would have piloted these laws. Because of the workers who are in the ANC, of the party as well, we were able to fight for these laws in Parliament and pass them, as well as entrench the rights of workers in the Constitution. That is a benefit, a real benefit, not a theoretical benefit, the real benefit of the alliance partnership. There is no other political, whether any party or any other federation outside of Cosatu that worked for these laws. The ANC is the only political organization in the country that can produce policies and legal environment that addresses the plight of the workers. No other political party. The question of our future, of the conditions in our country, is not something to play about. It's not something to make sound bites in the TVs and radios. It's a serious matter for us. Simply put, for the plight of the workers to be addressed, the ANC needs to be in government, needs to be in power at all material times. The ANC will never turn against workers' interests. Never. All programs of the ANC are designed to make the country a better place for the poor and the working class. And it is the working class that says this openly, that we are fighting and defending and looking after the interests of the poor and the working class. Comrades, since its inception, Cosatu has subscribed to this view of being a revolutionary trade union movement. This approach sought to relate the worker struggles with the broader national struggle. In other words, this federation articulates its interests that protect the workers not only at the factory floor, but also where they stay, at the national political disadvantage that has been given to them. And that's the reason why it should not be debated whether Cosatu members vote for ANC or not. But that's the political side of Cosatu. Because it is only when Cosatu and the party vote for the ANC that the ANC can stay and we can push for a better South Africa, for a prosperous South Africa. As a successor to SACP and committed to integrating the struggles of the workers to the broader national struggle, Cosatu became an integral component of the ANC-led alliance, consciously, not by mistake, consciously. The understanding of oppression was therefore very deep in South Africa and cemented the alliance indeed. So anybody who claims to be representing the interests of the workers in no way can undermine the unity of the workers, can divide the workers in the name of caring for the workers. It can't be. It can't be. The unity in action of the alliance during the struggle would be demonstrated in practical action that would be undertaken by workers through withdrawing their labor power in support of the National Liberation Movement. That's how progressive and revolutionary workers contributed to the struggle. If there was a protest, the workers participated by withdrawing their labor power to make the regime and those who collaborated with them feel the pinch. There are clear examples, leaving aside many such actions. But in 1961, when President Mandela called for 3 days stay at home, it did not just mean people who are walking around not working must just stay home. He meant the workers. They must stay at home for 3 days, not go to work. So the workers must withdraw their power. And they participated. It's not as if they were just passengers in the struggle. They were part of the struggle. And they should be part of the struggle today as we build South Africa, as we move forward to prosperity. The ANC relationship with Cosatu is a long-standing relationship, to the extent that when it became clear that the two could not work in isolation from each other, Nkosi Albert Lutuli said at the SACP conference in 1959, and this was his famous coining of this relationship, when he said, SACP is a spear. In other words, the Federation is a spear and the ANC is a shield. In other words, this great leader combined these two into something as instruments in the hands of one person: the shield and the spear. He added that no worker is a good member of Congress unless he is also a trade unionist. In other words, he gave instructions to members of the ANC who were working in factories that if you are a worker, you are in the ANC, you must also be part of the union. But he also said, no trade unionist is a good trade unionist unless he is also a member of the Congress. This politically, scientifically explains the alliance in a more glaring terms. That in order to grow and cement the relationship, we should be together. Not just be together in a generalized alliance. We should carry two memberships. If you belong to the ANC or a worker, belong to the union. If there is no union, form it. If you are a unionist, join the ANC. Organize the ANC where you are. It's your duty. Because that will add the strength in the voice of the majority, in the voice of the poor. Comrades, this year marks the year of the local government elections. It is during this year that we will see communities in our country renew their mandates to the local leaders. Now, if you take what Chief Lutuli said, this cannot be the business of the ANC only. It's equally the business of the Federation Cosatu. There's no one who's inviting the other to come and help. Is our duty, is our mandate. We have declared this year, the theme of this year is together advancing people's power in every community. Local government is in your hands. This is what the leadership has said to all of us. It is our duty to ensure that at the local government level, we bring the force and impact it needs for us to be able to govern at that level, but that's where the delivery takes place. It cannot be other people who don't understand where South Africa is going. It is us, the ANC, the SACP, Cosatu, and SANCO. A vote for the ANC on 3 August is a vote for the delivery of quality services. It is a vote for development of local communities and integration of communities in urban and rural areas. It is a vote for the expansion of water, supply and electricity, roads, improved health care, and education for the poor and the working class. It is a vote for working together to boost inclusive growth so that our people can get jobs. Don't listen to people who dream whilst awake in this country. Because there are so many who dream whilst awake. We therefore call on all workers to unite and rally behind the ANC in these elections. The unity of workers is paramount for the victory of the ANC in these elections. So from us, the ANC, we do not take the existence and unity of Cosatu for granted. We know it is important. We know we are what we are because of Cosatu and the party and SANCO. We have listened to the complaints of our people about the performance of some councillors. We are putting measures to improve this, and councillors will be will be accessible to the community. Don't want councillors that are not accessible to the communities. We want councillors that must know they've been appointed, they've been elected, they've got to report to the community on a regular basis. We have taken a decision. We believe that our councillors must sign performance agreements to commit themselves. They must also report regularly to communities on their work. We are going to give time frames, how often they report, so that people don't see the councillor for the first time when we do door to door. They must see them, know them, raise issues with them. This will give power to the people in holding their representatives accountable and making local government work better. We must control it, we the people. We are the ones who must control our councils. We've also heard complaints of workers about outsourcing. That is why the ANC will attend to this matter seriously. Because it has become very clear that outsourcing actually reduces the possibility of employment in a proper way. So we are going to look into this very seriously. Cosatu should use this month sorry about that. Our expectation is that municipalities should employ workers to perform all work that must be done. It must not outsource. It must employ. If there is a need for outsourcing, this must be carefully controlled. Only if it is a technical thing that other people cannot do. That's how the ANC is taking the matter seriously. Because as we talk about the lack of employment, we believe now that outsourcing adds to that problem. Comrades, today marks the beginning of Africa Month. During the month of May, we celebrate the founding of the Organization of African Unity. Cosatu should use this month to promote the unity of workers and also to promote our African identity. Let us use African Month to promote African advancement, sustainable economic development, as well as peace and security in our beloved continent. We should also use African Month to promote peaceful coexistence among South Africans and nationals from other countries, especially our brothers and sisters from the African continent. We, the workers, understand this better than many other people. There is a political environment in our country that is prevailing right now. The problem of violence in the protests. Comrades, let me reiterate our concern about some unacceptable identities, some of unacceptable incidents of violence during protests. We should isolate people who destroy infrastructure and property during protests. We have had shocking incidents of people who even burned factories in the KwaZulu-Natal during a period when we say we need more jobs to be created, but we ban the factory. We reduce more chances to have more jobs. Let us unite as South Africans against such despicable behavior. Grievances should be expressed peacefully. We have a right to protest, but our protest must be supported by everybody. It is only when we protest properly that the support of our people would be with us. We've also noted within the political environment the existence of some desperate elements who seem hell-bent to promote anarchy and chaos in our beautiful country. The people of our country must isolate political parties that advocate the use of violence in a free, peaceful and democratic South Africa. We worked very hard to create peace and stability in our country. Lives were lost in the struggle for freedom, peace and democracy. We must not allow opportunists to take us back to the period of anarchy and destruction. We must also isolate and shun parties that promote disunity and divisions within our country. Let us isolate and shun parties that promote thuggery and chaos. South Africans want to live in peace and harmony. Anarchists and those who support them have no place in a democratic South Africa. South Africa is a much better place to live in now than it was before 1994. Let us build on the achievements and work together to deal with challenges that remain. As the ANC, supported by the alliance partners, we have a duty to ensure that the fruits of freedom reach all our people. Together, let us take the country forward and work for prosperity that will be enjoyed by all our people. Let us work together to ensure that the overwhelming victory of the ANC is achieved in August 3rd. It is absolutely important. I think, comrades, our understanding of the vote of each and every one of us must be clearer. We are not just voting for the sake of it. Vote constitutes the power. The power. If it is said this organization is in power, it is put there by vote, and the vote therefore constitutes the power. If you don't vote or encourage people to go and vote, you are in fact interfering with the power of government. A vote is a power. Very important to understand that. That is why we must do everything we can to deploy ourselves all over the country to ensure that all citizens are out to vote. Well, that's where the power lies for us to change the conditions in this country. We need to have and this is important, we need to maintain the level of 2/3, because it means if you have got 2/3, you have the power to change the country. If you have what they call small margin, your power is very little. You can't even do anything. And therefore, voting for the ANC to have bigger power to change what we can see as an obstacle is absolutely important. Democracy allows that in every 5 years, let us shake and evaluate power and see where power goes. We must not leave power, because if we leave power, this country will be in the hands of chaotic people, anarchists, and we will be in trouble. And there will be no forward movement. And you must know that in every country and in the world, the majority is the working people. And it is the workers who must understand this. So it is important for us to do so. Now, we are going to start campaigning. We are going to deal with people who talk too much. And explain to the country who they are. What are they trying to do? We are going to deal with everything that has been said. Today, we are celebrating. A campaign is going to move throughout the country. Opportunists and reactionaries will be explained. Our country is faced with a difficulty today of counter-revolution, disguised in many guises, and we've got to expose them for the people to know who they are. Our task for now is to mobilize for elections. And remember that a vote for the ANC is a vote for peace and unity in our country. And that the vote of the ANC is a vote for a non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous South Africa. A vote for the ANC is a vote for a better life for all and an improved quality of life of our people. Our vote has a meaning. I don't know about other votes, but ours has a meaning. Let us therefore celebrate this day of the workers with this understanding. It is not just a celebration. We are celebrating, we are remembering where we come from, but we are saying this is the way to go. How to advance forward to a prosperous country. And it is only this alliance that can advance this country. Manza! Awetu! Matla! Yaruna! All power! All power! Oh, Hinde! Lendela esi hambayo! Oh, Hinde! Lendela esi hamba! Oh, Hinde! Lendela esi hambayo! Oh, Hinde! Lendela esi hambayo! Washu Mandela, Kumalande sohlangana nge-free washo Mandela kubalandeli bakhe othi sohlangana nge-freedom oh indlela esihambayo oh indlela esihambayo oh indlela esihambayo oh indlela esihambayo washo Mandela kubalandeli bakhe othi sohlangana nge-freedom day washo Mandela kubalandeli bakhe othi sohlangana nge-freedom day indlela esihambayo indlela esihambayo indlela esihambayo indlela esihambayo washo Mandela kubalandeli bakhe othi sohlangana nge-freedom day washo Mandela kubalandeli bakhe othi sohlangana nge-freedom day
yethu